Hello and welcome to another Wednesday here on Full Time Sport Network. This is Through the Table. I'm Britt Smill. Today we're going to discuss the NFC South and the impact of some of these departures that have happened in the NFL offseason. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me, and thank you uh, for tuning in once again. This is Through the Table. We are talking NFC South. We are talking departures from teams that we think will have impacts and with maybe a playoff run or possibly a championship run. But I will bring in my friend Donnie,
What's up,
my
Britt?
friend. How are you, man?
Good, my friend. How about you?
Hey, dude, you know what? I'm doing all right. It's getting hot, but you
Shh,
know,
it's getting hot. Come down here,
you're
Britt.
like, let me tell you something
It's been, yeah, I
about
know.
getting
I think
hot.
it's gonna be another hot summer like it was last year. Of course, it's gonna be hot during the summer, but we're hitting 100 down here already.
Oh yeah, I heard that from my dad. I'm like,
Yeah,
dang man, a
yeah.
hot. Oh nah, dude.
Just get you
I,
a good suntan down here.
I mean, we haven't we haven't hit that. We haven't hit that yet, thankfully.
Yeah, I feel.
Um, but I know we will. But not yet, man. But you guys are, and that hopefully you're staying hydrated.
Oh yeah, of course. Water's my best friend this time of year.
Dude, no kidding. You getting a lot of work too?
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's up, Moss? I'm pretty sure that's Moss. Always nice to see a friend and support. Always appreciate you, man. Oh man. I've just seen some articles, so I thought it'd be you know, interesting or whatever to discuss of them. But how have you seen the NFL offseason so far? How much has it been intriguing at all for you?
Can you shut the door? Just give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, no problem, man. Um, let's see here.
Um, this off season, I think we saw uh, kind of like some of the older class, a bigger chunk of the older class leaving. You saw this new wave of people come in. Of course, that happens every year, but this year in particular, you saw a lot of big names, kind of that these veterans we've been watching the last several years, 8 years, 9 years leave. Um, so it's going to be an interesting season. Seen a lot of changes. Some people that these teams were like built around. I don't want to give them away because I know we're going to talk about some of them. But like these teams, they kind of try to build these teams around these people, and now they're just kind of wandering off. And a lot of it has to do with money and just not panning out. So it as far like to rank it, I wouldn't say. I feel like last, even just saying it, last off season was a little more exciting. This kind of just there hasn't been too many like wow. There's maybe one or two, but just like nothing like really stands out where it's just like wow. But I mean, the camps are gonna start here, and so
Well, many camps have started, of course.
yeah. But I saw this one article that says that something was going on with the Bills camps.
Oh no, Diggs was at practice.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the
Yeah,
fight. Okay, that's what it
yeah.
was.
So
Um,
look,
okay,
much
and
to be
and stuff
made
like
about
that.
himself,
It's
man.
I get it. Like we're always saying, this is a business, so I get it. You gotta get those contracts. You put your body through 20 plus years of being pounded, and then you got to a point where you can finally ask for some money, which that kind of money, that kind of money that they play with is just for the average person. An average person would just get out there and play the game. But I get it, and
No,
so
I bet you we say that, but we'd go out there and practice, and we'd be like, "This ain't worth this much money, dude. I want to go
I
home."
mean, dude, some of these dudes get paid a
Oh
lot of
no,
money.
I know, but I'm talking
It's
about
it's life
like,
changing money if you can invest it correctly.
no, yeah, no,
In the 5 to 7 years an average player plays. That's besides the point. I think, yeah, I mean, we've seen it grow and grow about this money situation, and I do think that it's getting to a point where they want too much money, in my opinion, and that's really like. I think making them, because I get it, the last guy before you got X amount of dollars, and it seems like it always goes up and never really goes down. Maybe it stagnates a little bit, but what's the cap point? And I know you're saying, I know there is a cap for structures and salaries and stuff like that, but they can extend this stuff out in so long, do little tricks here and there where like really, yeah, it can save this much money, but like how long does it take them to pay out? I feel
oh
like
yeah, are you referencing the Browns and their dirty bookkeeping on
I
signing
really
a
wasn't even going to
player
talk
that?
about that. I was really, what example I was going to bring up was Elliott. He's he got let go this year from Dallas. Still free agent. And they kept him around and he wasn't producing for how long, and why they keep him around, because they paid him so much they had to keep him. It's stuff like that, and I just think it's going to come to a head where they're going to have to just kind of accept it, or you know, I always think holding out for money and sitting out for a season is a bad mistake. Uh, So I think that's something we've seen in the this off season is some big names that are kind of feeling like they need a lot of money, and it leads into the bigger problem. Like I said, where's that end? Um,
Right. Well, that's a good segue into the landscape of the NFL. It has changed, like you were talking about, big time people gone, um, and possibly the impact that a player leaving like that is going to have. The Buccaneers. I want to bring this up just because. I mean, he's supposedly a Hall of Fame quarterback, and now
oh,
we've
shut up,
seen
dude.
we
You know
now
he is.
now we've
He can have
seen
his
the
own
end.
room.
We've seen the end of his career. I think I'm pretty sure this time we've seen the end of his career. I don't think there's
As much as I like the dude, he should
coming
have
back.
stopped. Should have
Yeah, he sure.
stopped, man. I mean, I get
So
that you're right after you won that ring, but really, if he could have just walked off into the sunset after that win, that sixth win, I think that should where it should have ended. But I get the
right.
next year, last year now.
So they were 8-9, won the NFC South.
Yeah,
Um, he accumulated for almost 80% of offensive yardage with that team.
which is insane.
Right. So Tampa Bay, that's a lot for them to figure out where
Yeah,
all this is going to come from. And now we're just talking about going 8-9. Like, you
yeah, and
still had room improvement you needed to make. Now, not only do you need to improve your team, you got this huge gap that you also have to fill. Like, unless they hit it with their quarterback and he can at least get close to 70% maybe. I don't know. I don't think that'll be good enough either, because Tampa Bay improving that team. I mean, all you have to do is Mike Evans have a better year than he had. It takes a couple guys having a few more a better year than they had last year. A few guys. It also think you also have to assume that the team is going to improve certain areas of the team. But there's a huge gap with this team. Can they fill it? If you look at Vegas, like we were talking about win totals, there is zero faith that
Yeah,
Tampa Bay is going to come out of this year, you know, at around 500 and sniffing the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that last year you did see them start struggling. I mean, they've been struggling since that Super Bowl win. They put all their chips in one basket. They brung in these players that they needed to win. Um, which was basically just Tom Brady needed to come in and help them win. Because I mean,
Well, Gronk
John
came in.
Wynn
Gronk
and
came
Evans
in.
are great wide receivers, but they're coming to the end of their careers.
Right. Their
Um,
bodies hurt a little bit more every day
you can
too.
see it. You can see that they're not moving as fast. I mean, after that fight, Evans got in last year. When he came back, I felt like he was struggled the rest of the season. And I don't know if that was a mental game or what, but I mean that was his first, if I'm not mistaken, his first season under 1,000 yards in his whole career as an NFL wide receiver. So you see
And
that.
that's with the quarterback that everybody tells me is a
Tom
Hall of
really didn't play
Famer.
as good
And
as he had. I
and
mean,
and
he
now
had a
you have to
decline.
replace that. Like
Yeah.
they have like, oh man, it's going to be tough for them. And Mike Evans is going to have a severely worse quarterback.
Yeah,
No offense
Mayfield.
to who, no offense, but you're severely worse than Tom Brady is.
I mean, Mayfield's got stuff to prove, but at this point, he's been kind of shuffled around. I think this is his opportunity or his last opportunity to show that he can produce something in the NFL. I don't see him getting too many more chances after this. And then, you know, they got rid of who's the dude? Leonard Fournette. That's who was running the ball for him last year. Um, he's
Fournette's
gone. They got
gone.
Rashad White running the ball. So I mean, and Fournette really he's. I'm not. I don't want to say he's what's that dude? LeGarrette Blount, but because Garrett Blount's good, man. I don't care. I mean, he gets used in small doses, but when you put him in the game, he is so effective, But that's how
Hmm.
I kind of feel like Fournette was. Like he was really good that one year that they won, right? And they paid him next year because
I
they
don't think
gave him another
he's
contract.
been that
But he
great.
he was moving the ball adequately when he was there. He was punching the ball in when he needed to. He was I think he got. I know he. I don't think. I think it was like 13 or 14 touchdowns he ended up with. I want to say 13 because I want to say 12 or 13, but like the year that they won that Super Bowl. Uh,
Right.
but he just it fell apart for him just because I think he struggled before that. I think he had that one good year as a Jaguar, and then it kind of after that he got injured, and then it was kind of up in the air, and then he won the Super Bowl, and so people were like, okay, maybe this is his resurgence, but now he's gone, so the whole team's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
500 is honestly, I think I don't see him getting to 500.
Yeah. It's a huge, like, it's more than just replacing their quarterback.
Yeah,
Like
no, definitely.
so that's a huge impact departure. And like you kind of said too, Fournette kind of is a big departure. I've never been a fan of him. Uh they told me he was gonna be good, that it could be effective, but I don't know. I mean, he lost that Heisman race to Derrick Henry in college at LSU when he was the favorite, and
I
I
mean,
think
Derrick
I
Henry's
think
enough to
I
recruit
I I
you
think I
all the
think
time.
that I think that devastated him, and I
You
don't
think
think he's been a great NFL running back. Maybe I've just been blind and hater, but I've never wanted Leonard Fournette near any of my teams, man. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about Leonard Fournette real well. I mean, we kind of are, but but they tell me he's a good player, so you have to assume that that's a big hole to fill. But it seems like Tampa Bay parted with him very easily, so maybe it's not a big hole to fill with this great running back everybody tells me he is. But Tampa Bay doesn't think twice before just effing him off into the sunset. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think that comes with everything changing. But regardless of like his how good he is, he knew the system there, right? And so now you're changing both the quarterback and running back from that system all at once.
Right? Yeah.
And then your top guys are your two veteran wide receivers that are pretty much coming to the end of their road. I mean, I'm surprised Godwin's still playing.
And not to mention, they're telling me that Atlanta has improved so much, and the Saints are better now too. Carolina, there's been a lot coming out of the Carolina camp. They seem happy and pleased as peach with their new quarterback.
I mean, they made it
Like
further than they
they
thought they were
they
going to make it
seem
last year.
really
Yeah,
thrilled about it. And when you look at Vegas, those three teams, their win totals are all like a game out of each other.
yeah.
It's 9.5, 8.5, 7.5. So it's supposed to be a tie race, much improved than they were last year, which that's exciting for them. But we're not doing the South right now. We're still talking departures, but it fit in with that. Um, I it's probably the biggest one, so we'll just get this out of the way. Would be Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
going from Green Bay to the New York Jets. Do you think the bigger impact, whether it be negative or positive, will be felt by the Jets or by Green Bay?
I mean, you have to say, you have to say the Jets. You would have to say the Jets in a positive manner. You know, the Jets were doing decent last year, and Aaron's got something to prove this year. I don't know if it's all showboating and talk, but he's like, "This is the best I've." He's like said this to reporters, like, "This is the best I've ever felt in years." Like, I don't know if that's just him, but it seemed like something was going on between him and the ownership or the management, I guess, because I know it's owned by the people. But like the management, something was going on there, and it had been for years. And truthfully, I don't know why they even gave him that big contract. Why didn't they just do this last year? Because I don't care. I'll say it and I'll say it until I'm dead. He threw that game. There's no way you're that good, then you get to the Super Bowl and you just do that. And he
That
just
wasn't the
looked
Super
so
Bowl.
like
That wasn't the Super Bowl. That was
that
the
was their first playoff game.
division series. Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying.
the divisional
But
round. Yeah.
he was like a favorite to win the Super Bowl that year.
There's
I
no
mean, I
way
know
he should have lost to Garoppolo and the Niners.
that's what I'm saying. He shouldn't have lost to the 49ers. No way. Not saying that the 49ers didn't beat teams that they
Play
didn't think would
well.
beat, but just the
Right.
way he acted on the sideline, so like nonchalant and whatever, and just like some of those passes, I don't know. But that's regardless. Here's the point. And then the year after that, they pay him,
You
and
you you will say this forever, won't you?
because he did, man. I saw the look in his eyes when they zoomed into him on the camera, and I was like, he's throwing this game, man. He didn't. I don't think he did it for like any kind of like point chiseling or anything like that. But like, I just think that he was pissed at the establishment, and he was like, you know what, I could do it, but I'm so angry right now about this. He let his anger get the best of him.
What's the downtick for the Green Bay Packers, do you think?
I mean, he was a gunslinger. Are you going to find somebody who can throw the ball like that? I don't, because who's their quarterback? Is it they
Love.
got rid of Love, right? Didn't they like trade him or something like that? So who's throwing the ball for him now?
No, Love. Love is
It's
supposed to
Jordan
be
Love.
the quarterback. Love is
Okay,
supposed to be the quarterback.
and they like him, and he sat behind Rodgers, and he learned from him. He's never been fully tested, so you know, looking at Green Bay, your your running back hasn't been very effective in the last several years. I'm not. I don't. We've only got sample sizes of Love, and yeah, he's handled the situations well when he's had them. Uh, but at the same time, I don't think that's big enough, film just to just view and say, hey, okay, he's going to be able to pull this off. Because that's what I'm saying. They're going to be changing the scheme of how they play this game now because they don't have that guy who's just going to throw the ball down 50, 60 yards. You don't have Adams anymore. You haven't. Yeah, you have Lazar, but
Well,
then again,
no, Lazard is in New York with
he moved.
Aaron. Yeah,
Okay,
Lazard is a
that's cool.
Jet.
That's kind of what I kind of was listening to, like a podcast when I was falling asleep last night, and they were talking about them, but I thought they were talking about last year. But okay,
Oh,
so
well,
now they don't have that, man. I would think that they're gonna have to really buckle down, and maybe it's better that they got rid of these weapons with Rodgers because maybe they're used to that, so they're
hmm
finding new guys they can replace and potentially build a better squad with. But I don't think it's gonna happen this year. I think it's gonna be another building year for Green Bay.
what uh do you think about Ramsey's move from the Rams to the Dolphins? I got to bring this up because it is going to be impactful. It is within my division, and to have a quarterback like Jalen Ramsey that can do a lot
The
for your
Rams.
that can
I
be
think
a
the
lot
Rams.
for your team.
I think it's gonna
What?
definitely benefit the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are really putting a solid team together, and I mean the Rams. They gave up all that stuff for that one win, and then they fell apart. So I really think the Dolphins could have had a run for it if Tua hadn't been injured. Now, is that going to play into his games in the next couple of years? I think he is going to be a lot, more. In my opinion, he should be more reserved, man. You took major concussions back to back. You know,
Yeah, and you're bringing in a veteran into the locker room, into a young defensive backfield there. So a lot of tutelage that he can give to these young kids.
Mm.
So that secondary over the years can become really good. Um, how do you like more with the Bears? Moved from Carolina, DJ Moore is now
Yeah,
part of the weapons with Fields, who I feel he could be okay, but do you think he's getting a good weapon, or what do you think about DJ Moore there in that Chicago Bears offense? They look like they're tooling.
they are. And Fields he's not bad, man. I just he was I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan. I haven't like totally thrown the towel on him. He got better from the year before to last year. Uh, I like Claypool, and it pretty much sunk his ship moving to the Bears. Now that Moore's there, is that going to open up the fields, and so maybe both of them are going to get play. It's hard for me to say yes. Um, but then again, I don't know what offseason they've done. I mean, they could really have nailed it down. I just always felt like Claypool, as good as he is, kind of a showboat. And I don't. It was easier when you're on a team full of like straight edge veterans, like you see. And by that, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about like solid football players, like the Saints organization produces. And if you're kind of showboaty there, like people can kind of like be like, no, stop that, dude. Like this is how you need to be like doing stuff. And the Bears, the way they've played over the last 10 years, you know, since Cutler really, and not even like saying he was like blowing the Bears out, but like them moving the ball as well as that, it hasn't been as good since then. Um,
hmm
so I just feel like this year is going to be a typical Bears year. I'm not saying that they're going to sink and burn, but I don't think that one addition is going to like blow their game up.
So you don't think it? Okay, yeah. What do you think? Because I know you've been an Alan Thielen fan.
I'm surprised
You
that
don't
dude's
think
still
he's too
playing,
bad.
man.
Um, out of Carolina, which ties in more with our NFC South. Um, like we said, lots of good talk has been coming out about Bryce Young. You give him a God, aging. I don't know if what the right word is, but he's 32 years old. Um, and then they also got Chark.
But
So,
Shark always is one of those guys that I felt like could really excel. I say that, but
hmm
then he's been on how many different teams now? I just remember when he was a Jag, like he was actually doing some stuff. Uh, you know, but yeah, like you were saying, Bryce Young, new quarterback, supposed to be great. But to answer your question, like Thielen's got a lot of veteran experience that you could
hmm
learn from, but as far as like physically playing the game, I don't know, man. I would think that he's probably going to retire within the next couple of years. You he was great. He's still great. His knowledge of the game is exponential, um, and that will help a rookie quarterback. Learn the game faster. I think Chark's decent. He's like a middle grade wide receiver that has the potential to be a little bit better.
hmm
Not elite, but a little bit better.
a little bit better, right? Um, what?
But
Because
I do like the Miles Sanders. I mean, I liked him on the Eagles, but Miles Sanders, hey, that might help him too.
right, yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, because I thought maybe I was wrong, but I thought he was a friendly target for Dak. Dalton Schultz, switching Texas teams.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that for Schultz's career because I think Schultz is an underrated tight end. I personally think he's top five. Yeah, I want to say top three. Um, but I mean, the dude's good. Uh, I know him probably switching to Houston probably downgraded his ranking somewhat.
Do you think he can? I mean, I I guess I get why Dallas did it, but Dak liked him. I know they have young tight ends on the roster that they're looking at developing, and they also drafted another tight end. So it did kind of make you go,
It almost made
"What?
you feel
What?
like they
Why
were.
is Dallas loaded up on all these tight ends?"
I
Uh,
think Schultz, what he's probably at his contract year, so
yeah, they didn't resign him. He was a
and
free
that's probably the
agent.
reason why, man. Is they're looking at long term. I think you could sell him high right now.
D- They're
Oh,
not.
looking at the contract that was
He's
released.
walked. They let him
I think that
walk.
was a bad call. Just because I thought he was really good. I mean, he really helped that team out. Like he was pretty much their best wide receiver there for a little bit.
Eh,
Um, like 2 or 3 years ago. The year
Yeah.
before CD Lamb started. I think the Lamb's been playing for 2 years. So like, and that would make sense because this is contract year. So yeah, I think that was a mistake. But obviously if they're drafting tight ends, they kind of feel like that was the end of their road with Schultz. And
Do
Jerry will
you,
pay out for dudes he likes. So it's
yeah.
like
I do you think do
the
you,
crazy
what
thing is their cap opened up so much because of Elliott's contract ending
right.
that I really think they could have kept him if they wanted him.
Do you think what he can offer can do much? I'm trying not to be mean here. Can do much for Houston?
Who's that? What's that quarterback's name? The new guy that they got? They first round draft. It starts with his last name starts with a S.
Oh man,
I should know
dude.
this. He was a first round draft pick. But um, Stroud. That was a Stroud. That's right. So anyway, he's supposed to be
Oh,
legit.
right, yeah.
Feel like he was a dumpster fire last year. Um, it is going to
Yeah,
increase their
CJ
game with
Stroud.
Schultz being yeah, they're being their tight end. I think it will. How effective that will be in their moving up? Because what they get like 3 wins, two, I think last year.
It
It
looks so
was
good,
yeah,
man.
it was a sad year for Houston. Um, and the thing about Houston, dude, is like they wanted a rebuilding year because they gave up Deshaun, right? They traded him. All this stuff was happening where like it seemed to flush, just like they just wanted to get rid of all these people that they've been kind of, I guess there had to be some kind of argument, right? Because they got rid of pretty much all their good players, seemed like out all at once, and kind of started anew. Because it was Hopkins, and then 2 years later, or like a year later, JJ left, and then after that, Watson, and so it's just like one step after another. So maybe this will be good for them. They should win more games than last year. Now I say that, I mean threes should be easy games to win. I do got
Hmm.
Woods on their team. Uh, I think I've always liked him. Yeah, he's a veteran, but I think he always seems to shine in those moments that you really need him to shine.
Right. Um, yeah. So I think that. Oh, yeah, one more too. Um, David Montgomery. Uh, he's now a Detroit Lion. Um,
That's nothing. I mean, that's not. I mean, I thought you would bring up Dalvin, but
I was, I was.
okay, because like Montgomery and man, I don't know. I really don't know how the dude's still in the NFL. I mean, he's better at football than I am. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's just I don't know, man. He's been given a lot of chances to start on different teams, some better than others, man. I mean, Green Bay, like in there when they were pretty much hitting the playoffs every season, he was their starting quarterback for probably like 2 seasons, you know. And so I I'm not a big Montgomery fan, so I don't think that's really gonna like play out and do anything for the team.
Right.
It kind of feels like it's just like a placeholder.
True. True. Yeah, but since you brought that up, I talked about it last week. I wanted to get your
Oh, you did?
opinion and your take um, about Dalvin Cook and his impact on um, either the Minnesota Vikings, their impact with no Cook in the backfield, and then he's a free agent. Like, what's he going to garner? I mean, he's looking for north of 10 million a year,
Which is
100%.
for how many years?
He's a third. He's what, 30th? No, wait. Is he 30?
Well, how much is he trying to get overall?
I told he's going to get north of 10 a
Okay,
year.
like
He'd
single
probably
year.
want he'd probably want a 5-year deal,
Yeah,
a contract
and I
worth.
don't see him lasting 5 years. Uh, truthfully, I
That's
don't think
why he'll want a 5-year deal.
I don't think he's worth that money. Not saying he isn't good, but all I'll say since he talked about last year is I think last show is he's going to have to come down on his money and realize that I don't think he's valued at that much. Truthfully,
So
uh,
you think he won't sign for under 10 million a
and if he
year?
sits out, I think that'll be the end of his career because look, there's better people than him that sat out and got what
Yeah.
they wanted. And I always bring Bell up, but I mean that dude was legit. And then he sits out one year and he comes back and he's like not even the same dude at all.
Le'Veon Bell is so good, so good.
Have you seen that movie Multiplicity before?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happened when Le'Veon Bell came back. One of his doppelgangers was playing for him because each copy was worse than the original, right? And so like that's what it felt like. He fell off bad, bro. He got the contract he wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his career was never the same. And I feel like Cook sitting out a year is going to be. It's probably not the best for him because he has far less talent than Bell. Uh, and I just think he's really injury prone. I think it's a mistake for him to sit out and ask for that much money. I unless honestly, unless you're somebody who doesn't get injured or you're Derrick Henry, you probably can't get that much money
Yeah. I mean, I
because I
don't.
mean there's tandem running backs in every game now, right?
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
that's.
tandem running back, pass heavy offense that the NFL's plays now, and so it's just and the
But why
quarterbacks
not at least
do
try to
most of their
trade
running
him?
back anyway.
Well, why not at least try to get some for him? You just flat out cut
And
him. Like you don't even want to go through the trouble of
the
working out a
trouble of that.
deal.
Well, because he's probably doing a Diggs thing where he's like, I need that money, yo.
That
I'm just saying, Diggs kind of made that a little more public than it should have been. But like, just the no more money thing is just like, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not going to play. Well, then all right, we'll find somebody else who wants to play. Because obviously, I know they don't care because it's a business. They'll drop them in a hat, but like they don't want their players to think like that. They want their players to be all in on that team. You
yeah,
know.
one
So if
hundred
you're like,
percent.
I won't take a little less money. I'm not saying it's fair, but I'm just saying in their heads, if you're not going to take a little less and we'll sign you a contract, then we'll just find somebody else. Because at the same time, yeah, Jefferson's super good, but I don't believe a wide receiver alone can carry a team to a Super Bowl. Um, and so you know they're going to be looking for somebody else. They're going to have to do something too, because I mean, as good as Cousins is statistically on paper, he is like an elite quarterback. I just on the field, it seems like he doesn't get the what he needs to get to win those games.
Yeah,
So that money's
yeah.
going to be spread elsewhere, you know. And
It
then
will be interesting to look and see where he lands, who he ends up signing with.
I mean, he's definitely going to get paid by somebody. 5 year, 10 million a year is a stretch because the teams that are probably going to pick him up are those teams that are in the lower. You got to think the quality of your team or the quality of your pay. If you want more pay, you're probably going to have to pay on a lesser team. So, do you want the ring or you want the money?
Yeah,
And
but can
I think the ring brings money. So it's like if you get the ring, you're going to get money too. It's not like you're not.
right. Well, we kind of there's I don't know, there's a lot of news coming out of the NFC South. And that's why I wanted to get your take on some of it, see what you think. Um with lots of good coming out, like we said, for the Panthers and Bryce Young. It sounds like development is going well. I guess he's taken so far in mini camps, he's taken you know, first team reps and all that. They say he's
Mhm.
looking good. If he can come out firing on the gate, I mean, did it's hard to say because I don't know how much I believe in the talent level surrounding him,
I think you have a
but
bunch of veterans that experience,
which will make him,
but yeah, I know what you
which is
mean.
probably
Like,
helping him to ease in. They could probably have
it's
a
gonna help
decent
them,
year.
and they were doing all right last year. I thought wasn't Walker their running back last year? I thought he was. He was decent. I think I, I was really hoping Sanders would really, he moved the ball somewhat efficiently. But I mean, if Hurts is your quarterback, you're probably not running the ball as much as you'd want to as a running back anyway, because the dude's got legs. But like, I know what you mean. It's kind of like Sanders is good, but is he ever going to like bust out like people thought? And then Thielen's older. Chark really never. He was kind of like I was said, middle of the road, or at least what I said. But Young is supposed to be a great quarterback, but it's hard to say because statistically, more rookie quarterbacks fail in their first year than surpass expectation, or even hit expectation.
Yeah. And nobody, and not for one iota did either one of us, you or me, think that Carolina brought in Andy Dalton to be the starting quarterback.
No, but I'll tell you what, man,
Yeah,
he plays a hell of a secondary quarterback. He can
right.
hold it down. I mean, he can't play a whole season, but you give him like 4 games, he can get you those W's. I mean, there's
Yeah.
one for the Saints when they benched Watson.
Yeah, because he started
Winston.
he started taking the reps, but after a few weeks, um, they put Bryce Young taking first team reps. So it sounds like
And
very quick
Andrew's
progression for a quarterback, which if you're a Carolina fan, you have to be happy about
definitely.
that. Your number one draft pick quarterback, like you picked him to be the next quarterback, and his progression, it
Yeah.
it looks pretty good.
No,
Um,
definitely.
and they're all well. What would you? Because Jadeveon Clowney is a name that's been thrown around that the Panthers could get because they're looking to sign an edge rusher, and with a free agent like Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, if they could land that
I mean,
could
it
that
would
dude
help him.
bolster the defense? Definitely, right?
I mean, I'm not going to say no because yes, it would. I mean, I just it's going to benefit him. Yeah, it just seems like you said, like the progressions are looking good. Uh, I think that as far as like Carolina is concerned, they were struggling at quarterback, so I think that's what they needed to do, and I think that's what they really were looking for with the last couple of years of the quarterback situation just not panning out for them. The
Would you
money
go
situation,
after a Jadeveon Clowney right now?
huh?
Would you go
Honestly, when
after
you
a
said that, I was
Jadeveon
like, damn,
Clowney?
man, I don't know, man. Like, he's getting older. I'm not saying he's not good. He's still good, but I mean, all you need is 1 year, But at the same time, like, are you going to be able to sign him on a 1 year contract? Probably, but maybe not, it's not going to hinder the team. I mean, by any means. I mean, that's a name that, kind of when people say his name, they're like, okay, like, we know this guy means business, but it's like, if I was Carolina, I would be putting my money somewhere else.
Yeah, because I mean, they have the second highest salary cap available,
Yeah.
so they have a lot of cap. So if they can do some more stuff here, uh,
You don't want to fill your team with a bunch of veterans coming to the end of their career just because you got this new quarterback. I mean, you need some young guns in there too. I get the benefit of having veterans in there because there's a certain level of experience you get while playing the game beyond physicality. You can look and see how things are gonna move out mechanically. That somebody that just started playing the NFL, because it's a different speed, it's a whole different game, and so like that is beneficial, but at the same time, a lot of these elite teams that you're going to have to beat are young gun guys. and like it's cool to win your division, but we're not here just for division wins.
Yeah,
Uh,
we got to win in the playoffs.
Even if you won one playoff game, I think as somebody coming in, that would it's
Oh,
not you
dude, if
shouldn't really that.
Carolina won a playoff game, I'd be
That's what I'm saying. It's not a chip on your shoulder by any means. Like a lot of rookie quarterbacks never even get that far. Shoot, there's people that have been playing in the league for a couple years that haven't got that far.
hmm
Uh, so it's just, I think you should, if they do have a big salary cap, put a little extra money in these younger guys that maybe cost a little bit more. Because I get it, your offense is kind of older. So maybe if you're gonna put some young guns in, keep your defense young and healthy. And I get where Clowning comes in with his experience, but like also in availability too, of course, is the catch. But I mean, I think they need to get a younger team going, not to get this like stock up on veterans. Because then what's going to happen next year? I mean, because yeah, we're playing for the Super Bowl, but we're also
hmm
playing for the down the road too. You don't want to if Young is as good as everybody says he is, and him just like
We'll find out right away.
basically like taking care of the nursing home, like that's not gonna last forever, dude. Like you're gonna eventually he's gonna be like it's gonna falter his talent if he really is that good.
Right. What do you think about the Falcons? I mean, some teams would say there's a lot of hype and it's all just hype, but you know, things
Well, they got
coming
that
out of
running
their
back,
mini camp.
right, Robinson.
Robinson, they drafted Drake London, wide receiver, supposed to be good. Um,
I mean, like what I said,
or
Carolina.
no,
See,
he
Atlanta went
didn't.
and did the opposite. They got a bunch of young guns, you know.
Right.
And Atlanta needed to do something, man. That whole team was kind of like falling apart, and you kind of felt like
hmm
that was going to happen because of the whole Matty Ice thing. And then this year, I think they really just like pulled the trigger and they're trying to do something new, man. Now winning as many games as Las Vegas thinks they're going to win, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, he had a decent year last year. Um, but he feels that this many camps were different. I mean, he was a rookie last year, so of course you would think things come different, but uh, he's definitely he's saying there's a lot. They got a lot of firepower, and this offense can do a lot. But what they're also who's gonna be their
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about
Ritter's the
that.
quarterback, if that's what you're asking
Yeah,
about.
right. Yeah, correct. So I don't know how much like about Atlanta, but hey, they should be good, right? Saints getting
Mm,
Derek Carr. I
I don't.
mean,
I'm gonna go back to that Atlanta statement. I don't think they're going to be that great. I think they're going to be.
yeah,
I think they probably got 5 games. 5 games is I think what they're going to win. I know we'll probably do that later, the win loss total for the season, but
right. We just
uh,
went over what Vegas had.
yeah. So it's just what Vegas have them at.
Uh, I had it right here, man.
Yeah, you did.
Uh,
I thought you said 7.
yeah. The Panthers were 7.5. The Falcons are 8.5.
Yeah, see, that's preposterous. They're saying that basically that Atlanta's going to win that division, which I don't. I don't think
No,
it's true.
no. The Saints are at 9.5.
Oh, the Saints were 9.5. Yeah. Um, which I have more belief that the Saints will win the division, but actually I think Carolina will win this division. But we'll go to the Saints right now. But yeah, I don't think Atlanta. Eh, I think it's great for them if they can get some solid motion with this team that they're trying to put together. We can really
hmm
start Because I mean, Atlanta needs one, man. They need one. They got robbed a couple years, like 5-6 years back, man. Like robbed. So I know everybody in that town still hurts for that. Um, so it would be good to see them, and I think if everything can keep moving the way it's going, you see some good play out of them. I think that the next couple of years, the Atlanta will be somebody that we have to consider to be, a little more difficult to beat. But right now, I would be happy as a Falcon fan with like 5-6 wins this season.
Word. What do you think about the Saints with Derek Carr?
Which is nuts.
Michael
man.
Thomas is saying good things. He's apparently loving his new
I'm saying
quarterback.
that dude, what was the gentleman's name who had that bad accident last year on the Bills? Like he had to be stretched off. Had to be carted off. The dude who like died on the field.
Oh, Hamlin. Or
That gentleman
Hamill.
came back and played for his team faster than Michael Thomas has. Michael Thomas is like drifted on the injury, then trying to play hardball because he thought he deserved more money. You were the top wide receiver for a season and a half, and you thought you were the shit.
Oh, he was so good, dude.
He was,
so
like he really was. Nobody was even
good.
coming close to his skill level when he was playing like that. But I like the Saints, but I don't like Michael Thomas. I don't. I haven't. I've always been a Saints running back fan, but ever since Drew Brees left, the running game hasn't been as good because you have to run the ball more because you don't have a quarterback like Drew Brees. My thing this year with the Saints is, do we know what's happening with Kamara's outside of field antics this year? Because this was the year that all that stuff was supposed to fall out, and I don't know if there's repercussions beyond just on the football field that he's going to be facing for that. Probably not. The dude's probably going to get paid, but regardless of that, there might be some suspensions. I would think at least 6 games, 3 to 6 games. But what do I know? I mean, after that, Watson only getting that 11 games for that. What do I know? He might just get 3 games.
So to wrap it up, who do you think takes this division? Who do you like?
I do like. Oh man, it's the Saints or Carolina for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Derek Carr, man, they gave him so many chances in Oakland, and maybe this is what he needed, is a fresh start. But shoot, man, they got him what he wanted. They got him Adams. You know what I'm saying? That was supposed to be the reason that he was gonna win.
Wow.
And that didn't pan out. Josh Jacobs was really good. So I thought they gave him a team that he could win with. And
they did. I'm sure of it. They
it's
gave
still
him a team he could win with, but he didn't. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Everybody, appreciate y'all tuning in, watching, like, subscribe, check out the channel, lots of other content. Check out some affiliated channels like the Man United Agenda. And we will be back with y'all next week and with more NFL content for Full Time Sport Network. We'll see y'all. Take care. Have a great week.